Tonight on the Bigfoot Underground Live, we have Bigfoot evidence and scary stories from Ohio. Let's get into it.
Something big is spooking residents. Multiple people have claimed to see a large furry animal trudging through the woods.
I literally could see him from all the way over here. I started hearing it. It was very large, and it was running so fast.
Your source for campers in Taos County. The Sheriff's Office is sharing safety tips on social media to protect yourself from
Bigfoot.
I saw something out of the corner of my eye off the side of the road in a culvert.
It's not like a bear, and it wasn't like a coyote. I've never seen anything like that.
No details, big, like 10-foot foam, big figure. It freaked out, hit it in the leg.
I don't think it registered what it was.
What's the likelihood that there are big animals that have gone undetected by scientists and by trained observers?
Howdy, everybody. How y'all doing tonight on this Wednesday edition of the Underground Live? I am your host, Stacy Brown Jr. In case you haven't seen the live show before, this is where we bring a guest on for an interview, usually a researcher, somebody with evidence or a great story. And then we open the phone lines. We usually go about 3 hours. Tonight, we will be going 3 hours. Last week, I only went an hour. My podcat was sick, and I was very worried. I do want to thank everybody for their prayers and positive vibes. He is back to his murder mitten self, attacking everything and being a ball of mischief. So, Daddy's happy with that. I will say, though, I bought him a new bed because he sits right here beside me. He sits right here beside me while I edit all day. And I bought him a new bed so he wouldn't be sitting on the floor. And he still won't sit in it. He sits on the floor next to the brand new bed. So it's how it goes, I guess, with kibbies. But wouldn't have it any other way. Hope everybody's doing all right. Couple things to go through. August 22nd, Bigfoot and Brews in Chipley, Florida. If you are in the North Florida area and would like to come out and listen to some people speak about Bigfoot, I will be there myself, along with Papa Squatch, PSP in the chat, Jason Monk, and Dustin Tudup. We will be discussing all things Bigfoot. And if you have a story to share, questions, anything like that, this is your chance. This is a winery, so they have great food available, and plus their craft beer that they make. And I believe they have other IPAs and stuff like that, if that is your thing. So also, members only expedition, October 1st through 4th. Right now, there's only 2 people signed up. I've had a bunch of emails, but only 2 people have officially signed up. It may work out where those 2 people have the best experience because they're right there. Either way, we're going to be in the Red River Gorge October 1st through 4th. If you all would like to join us and you're a member, please come out. There's a rumor that Shane Grove from the Shadows podcast will drive his Yankee self down there and be there as well. Not to mention a couple other special guests, but we're going to have entertainment going on all weekend. Primitive camping, no power. It is free, but you have to pay the camping fee, which is $30 a night per person, per night. So, but we secured a 300-acre section of the Red River Gorge, and we will be doing everything from there, as well as driving out into the local national forest for the people who don't walk as well. There will be something for everybody. So if you have a disability or something like that, don't worry. I promise you, we got you. We got something for everybody. If you are a great trail hiker and you can handle all of it, we got a route we're going, and I'm going to work them legs out. And if you bring your kids, kids 10 and under are free. Well, 12, whatever, just kids. They're free. Okay. We got walks for them that are putting them in Bigfoot areas with a guide, with stuff that's you're not going to fall to your death. And then if you're chair bound or anything like that, hey, we're strapping dash cams on the vehicles and sending vehicles out into the forest, because about 94% of your Bigfoot sightings are road crossings anyways. Wow, we already have 100 people here tonight. Well, hey, tonight we have a great show planned for you. Okay. This young lady from Ohio, she has had some very, very interesting stuff going on. And we're going to get into it. She's got some cool video. She got some cool audio. I couldn't get one of the audios to load, which is a bummer because it was a great one. However, let's go ahead and bring her on. Olivia, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. So, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. So, how long have you been interested in the Bigfoot cryptid space?
Probably a long time, really. I actually had my first sighting of Bigfoot when I was 12, so that was about 14 years ago.
Okay.
And but I was interested in it before, and then when that Finding a Bigfoot episode came out in what was it, 2013, the one in Florida when they reviewed your video.
Oh yeah.
So, I just feel honored to be talking to you because I watched that show when I was 13, and then I'm talking to you right now.
Hey, no problem. I'm glad you're here. Glad you're here. So you kind of glanced over something, and I want to get back to it. You said you had an encounter when you were 12.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get into that. Tell me what happened.
Oh, it's just my family and I were driving through. I forgot the state park, the national forest name, and it was in Arizona of all places.
Okay.
And we were driving through I always keep forgetting the national forest name, but it's that national forest outside the Grand Canyon area.
Okay.
And we were caught in a traffic jam, and something was smelling really bad, almost like a sewage smell. And I just happened to be into Bigfoot enough to know what that a bad smell meant. And I'm like, it would be weird if I saw a Bigfoot today. And then I just glanced out my my window. I was sitting behind my dad. He was driving the car. And I just saw this dark figure with really wide shoulders and no neck, stand up from behind a bush and then just walk away back in the tree line. It was far away, but I just happened to look and then got a pretty good look at it.
Now, did anybody else in the car see it, or was it just you?
Just me. Everyone wasn't really paying attention.
Right. Now, did you say anything?
I couldn't get the words out, to be honest.
Right. So you just kind of held that in for a while.
Yeah.
Okay. So about what age did you start going out and looking for the creature?
I mean, my dad and I went to Salt Fork when I was 12 or 13. But on my own, really, I didn't really start doing that until I graduated college.
Okay, gotcha.
When I graduated undergrad. So that was 2022.
Okay. Now, where did you go first? Because I know you're in Ohio. There's a bunch of places to go. Did you go to school in Ohio, or
where? I went to school in Ohio.
Yeah. Well, where was the first place you went researching at?
So So I didn't really go specifically go researching for Bigfoot per se. Starting that, it was more like I went hiking a lot, and I would actually look to see if I saw something. But mostly I was focused on just hiking, and I would notice all these weird things that would happen. But I would say I started doing my more of the research more recently.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, walk me into your first encounter as an adult. What happened? We've got some stuff loaded up here. You sent me some pictures of some tracks, which I don't know where those are at right now. I'll have to load those back up in a second. but go ahead and walk me through kind of what happened, your first time.
So the first weird thing that happened to me while hiking was I was in Leroy Township, which is in Lake County, Ohio. And there's a wildlife refuge, I think it's called Hell Hollow. And so this is gorge. You walk down. That's where the trails are. So when you walk down to the gorge, you take all these wooden stairs. So when you get down there, there's a creek that runs through the park where the trails are. And so I was just walking along the creek. And at some point, you could always hear a little bit of birds. I should have mentioned this was March 2023. So you could always kind of hear birds going on in the area. And then I just noticed at this one point, it went dead silent. And I thought to myself, that's a little weird. But since I wasn't really hiking much before then, I wasn't too sure what that meant. And then for some reason, I got that weird feeling that I was being watched. And I've only had that feeling twice before, or twice in the past. And this was the first time I ever felt that feeling. So I'm like, something doesn't feel right. I'm alone in this park, and I'm just gonna go back up to the parking lot. So I went up back the stairs, and I'm walking around, and I happened to be filming this during the time. And then coming from the gorge, I just hear this loud whirring noise, and I'm like, I'm not going to stay and find out what that was. So I jumped in my car and I drove off.
What did that was the one piece of audio I could not load up. But what did it make you feel like when you heard it? What was your initial thoughts?
Honestly, it was like, it's time to go. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, was this the last time that you went by yourself? Because that's pretty crazy. No, it wasn't. Okay.
I didn't learn my lesson.
Yeah, it takes a few times. How far away do you think it was?
It's hard to say because how sound carries in the gorge.
Right.
But obviously, I heard it coming from the gorge area. So it must have been close enough to me to be able to tell where it was coming from. But I can't tell you how far exactly where it was.
Give me 1 second. I'm going to try to load again these tracks because you had some cool pictures of some tracks, and I don't know why they didn't load up. Where are we at? Boom, boom. Okay. Open. Okay, and maybe it's there and they're just not giving me a preview. There we go. I don't know if that picture looks right. Hold on, it's got to load up. I was in a terrible storm. I didn't think I was even going to be able to do the show because my mom texted me and she's like, y'all got power? And she just lives 5 minutes down the road. I'm like, damn it, we're about to lose power. So it was hot. It was 103 all day long. And then it waits till I'm about to do the show to start pouring down. Anyway, so where did you find this track at?
This one, This one was in southern or southwest Ohio, in
Okay.
Weevil County. This was by a creek.
Okay. Was this the only one?
Yeah, that was the only one I found.
Okay. So, how big do you think this was?
It was small. It was only like 7 inches.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not
Now-
too sure about this one. Like, it's in the range of a human, but it was kind of out of place.
Yeah. A lot of times people think if it's not 17 inches, there's no way it could be a Bigfoot, but Bigfoot don't come out with those size feet, right?
Yeah.
Now, was this a place that was kind of off trail or is it easily accessible? And would there be any reason for somebody to be barefoot?
It was near a trail, really.
Right.
Like, this was only in May or June when I found it, so like it wouldn't be unreasonable for somebody to be barefoot over there.
Right.
But it just seemed a little odd because when I was stepping in the mud or the gravel in the sand, I wasn't
Yeah.
really making as much of a dent with my shoes on.
Right.
So so whatever it was seemed like it did way more than me. But at the same time, like if it rained before, the ground would have been softer.
Right. Okay. All right. I'm going to try to upload this last one because I believe you cast this next one. Let me see here. Image. Where was it? Why don't I have it? Okay. Never mind. Maybe I didn't have it. This one here. Was this that track?
No, that was a different one I found.
Okay. Trying to see why I don't have that picture. Did you send me this one?
I did, yes.
You did? Okay. Sorry, I'm off my game. Let me see here. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to give me one moment. So, what made you want to go to this area where you found this track here?
Actually, I actually moved a few years ago.
Right.
So I live pretty close to this one state park. And so this state park is surrounded by cornfields. So like when you think of Bigfoot, you think of like dense forests, not like 3,000 acres of like old growth forest surrounded by farmland. And where I live, there's like sporadic patches of wooded areas, but not like deeply wooded areas compared to others.
Mm-hmm.
But so what really started me looking over here was my boyfriend and I were hiking at the state park, and so at the time I started a YouTube channel, but really it just started as me like just filming me hiking and going to different places.
Right.
And so we're at the state park around maybe like an hour and a half before sunset. And we were when we got on the trail, there's all these trees down, like these old but they're like old trees. So like you could tell like the state Department of Resources did cut them already and toss them to the side. And I'm like, okay, I get trees fall on the trail, but they really do this a lot. Like they seem like they have to cut down trees off the trail quite often. And so further up the trail, I noticed that there were like at least 3 trees knocked down on the trail. And what seems like what really happened, there was this pine tree, I believe it was a pine tree, either rotted at the roots or was pushed over by something, fell on the trail, but as it fell, it knocked down another tree. And then when that one tree fell, it knocked down another tree. So there were just all these trees blocking the trail. And there weren't any storms or anything recently. So it just like, for a tree, seemingly healthy, just to fall on the trail, just seemed a little weird. And like, I get like trees, their roots could rot and fall on the trail, but it just seemed a little odd. And the one thing I noticed were there were like weird stick structure things. Like some trees were like snapped like over 6-7 feet in the air, and
Right.
there was this one tree that like it was a smaller tree, maybe like 8 inches in diameter. But when it fell, it must have got lifted up and then put into like a Y section of like a tree that like splits up. So the trunk then splits up. So that tree was placed there. And I'm like, huh, that's really weird for all of these just weird stick structures to be in one area. And so my boyfriend and I just continue on the trail. Nothing really happens. And it loops around. So we head back to the same area where all the trees were down. And one thing we noticed was it was silent. Like, this is May in Ohio. So there's a bunch of birds singing pretty much all the way until about sunset. And then even at night, it's pretty loud here. But this time, it was just silent. The only bird we heard was a crow cawing, and then it stopped. And I don't know, it just felt so weird. It was silent. So I was already filming for my YouTube channel, and so I point my camera in a direction where I thought I heard rustling, but I didn't see anything. And when I was filming, and I was looking like in the direction where I heard rustling, but I didn't see anything. And then I just since I didn't see anything, I just kept on walking, and nothing else happened. It wasn't until later when I was editing the video, I just happened to notice like something was moving in the video, and I was just like happened to be like standing in the worst spot possible, where there's like a sapling in front of me that blocked whatever it was moving, but you could just barely see it move in the background.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, that is a little weird with it going silent and then me catching something on video. Because in like where the state park is, Butler in Preble County, Ohio, there really aren't black bear sightings here. There's only been 2 confirmed black bear sightings in Butler County in like 30 years. And there's
Really?
and there's none in Preble County. So I'm like, the likelihood that it was a black bear is pretty unlikely.
Yeah. Now, is this picture I got pulled up here, is this the same track that you cast?
No,
No. Okay. This is a different one.
this was a different time. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what happened with this time? Oh, the picture we got up there now.
So I went for a quick hike. I was walking on the trail. So I can't remember exactly which point on the hike it was, but this was in the middle of the trail. So I'm like, that's a little weird because I've really never found any Bigfoot footprints in the trail. And so I'm guessing somebody was trying to mess with other people, or maybe it was a Bigfoot that like it was walking on the side of the trail, and then it stepped on the trail to move to the other side of the trail for some reason. So like it sidestepped almost.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's what I'm guessing. If I'm not being pranked or anything.
Right. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because a lot of people they don't take that into account. You know what I mean? Like, you could always have somebody messing with you.
Yeah.
You know, and they may not be messing with you directly. They may just be like, hey, we're on this public trail. Let's leave a Bigfoot track here, and, you know, somebody's going to come along and freak out. All right, but that's cool. So how big do you assume this track here is?
So I'm pretty tall. So obviously my hiking boots are a woman's size 10. So
Okay.
5 foot plus like the extra size with my hiking shoes, about 10 and a half, maybe 11 inches. So that's like an additional, I don't know, 5-6 inches. So maybe 15 to 16 inches, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. My tape measure broke, so
Right.
I was out of a tape measure for a while.
Well, right on. So the one that you cast there, how big was that one?
I can't remember off the top of my head. I have it right there. Want me to measure it really quickly?
No, it's all good. I just wondered because, but yeah, that's cool. So you ended up. Okay, let's kind of chronologically look at your journey here into the Bigfoot space. You had your encounter when you're 12 for your sighting. Then you get up, you're out of college, and you hear that roar from Hell Hollow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, then you start finding tracks. Is that correct?
No, so we have to go back to March 2023 again.
Okay.
So I'm hiking in Geauga County. So this is about, so remember the Bigfoot flap that happened in March of this year in Ohio?
Yeah, I was going to get into that with you, and I also wanted to talk about Jimothy. If you had seen Jimothy, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, because I got like 8 pet raccoons I feed here at my property, and we don't have a Jimothy, but he's so cute. But yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. You were speaking about that Bigfoot flap.
Yeah. So so where I was in Geauga County, so that's like maybe a half hour from Portage County where the flap was. So this was March 2023. So in Northeast Ohio in March, the weather varies a lot. It could be anything from like 60 degrees in March to like 20s. So when I went out hiking,
why do you want to live somewhere like that? Like,
oh no, I moved, so the weather's nicer where I live now. But so where I used to live up there, I'm hiking and so this is March. It was like 30s for the past few weeks, and I'm walking on this one trail. And there's like almost like a campsite you walk through. And so I'm like walking by the creek on the near the trail, and I noticed there's like bare human-sized footprints of maybe like small, so like smaller than mine, so maybe like child-sized, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I still had the picture because I got a new phone in between now and when I took the pictures then, but they were like smaller than my feet and barefoot. But then again, this is March in Ohio, so like who is letting their kid walk barefoot near a creek in 30-degree weather? So I'm like, that's a little weird.
Right.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Like, we'll find human-sized tracks way out in the middle of the damn swamp, and I'm like, who's gonna be out here barefoot because all the snakes and stuff? But then half of the time I'm barefoot. So it's like obviously people will be, it's the odd placement of, the dangers that you're in, the cold or whatever. There's some wild ass people out there, but so you have to keep an open mind to it. But you still have to document, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a couple. Let's play this audio real quick that you got. Now this is looped, everybody, and it's looped kind of close together. So we'll play it a couple times, but this is a whoop I believe you caught. And after it plays, I'll let you kind of tell the story to this one, okay?
Okay.
Now that's just one track that plays again and again. We'll play it one more time. Maybe want to put your headphones on or turn up the TV. And once again, it's only a few seconds, so they can hear it again. All right, and see y'all see this little artwork here. It says possible there. That's the thing, okay? And you always have to. I like that you did that. I was talking to a buddy of mine over the weekend, and he made some huge claim about something he had been told by somebody, and then I did a simple chat GPT on this because there was this like piece of rock this guy brought, and it had what appeared to be a footprint in it. A simple like chat GPT upload of the picture, and then put it in Grok and Google, and it come back saying exactly what it was. It wasn't a footprint, blah, blah, blah. But he had already went online and made this like grandiose claim. And I was like, brother, you can't do that, man. You gotta, just so people don't give you shit, right? You always put, like, if you look at my dad's footage, it's possible Sasquatch. When I first got into this, Cliff Barackman told me, he goes, listen, man, somebody could be fake, but you'd never be definitive because you don't know unless you saw it. You always put possible. So I think it's very important that people want to be taken seriously, do things of that nature. So where were you at when you caught that, and kind of tell us the backstory to that one?
Yeah. So my boyfriend and I,
Now does your boyfriend think you're crazy for hunting Bigfoot, or?
yeah,
Okay.
I drag him out with me. So,
Sounds about right.
well, he's not dismissive of it. He's just not convinced. But it's something for us to do.
Yeah.
I guess me dragging him out in the middle of the woods at night isn't the most romantic thing, but
Hey, my first date with my wife was Bigfooting. She had like told all of her friends, hey, if I don't call you by this time, that means this dude's like murdered me and stashed my body in the woods. But yeah, so anyways, yeah, sorry to cut you off there.
no, you're fine. So my idea of fun is to go in the state park I live by at night and see if I could see something or hear something. And so we went out last week. I believe it was last week. So it's already dark out. So it's like 10, 11 at night. And we are walking. I went out earlier that day to find a new spot to go look for Bigfoot on. And so there's this cliff face near in the state park. I'm like, oh, this would be a really good spot because I could do knocks and calls, and it would go pretty far out in the park because I'm standing on top of a cliff. So we get there, and right away we hear like two different sounds: that whooping noise, and then there's a dog barking at whatever was making that noise. And so what would happen was we would hear that whoop, and I'm like, that, and then the barking, and then the dog would bark again, and then it would start whooping again. So it was just like a back and forth between whatever that was and the dog. And since I was recording this, I was able to get the spectrogram of the audio. And so the whoop had a higher pitch than the dog. The whoop was like, I don't know, 3,000 hertz, I think.
Right.
And then the dog was lower than that, like in the hundreds, I believe, maybe 1,000.
Okay.
So it was like, it almost seemed like there was two different animals. And what was happening was, in my opinion, and what I maybe think happened was, I want to say it was a Sasquatch that was probably on the farther end of the park, close by where our dog was, because there's like farms and stuff nearby. And there was one out in the wood line, and there was a dog like barking at whatever it was, and then the Sasquatch would whoop at the dog to mess with it or something.
Right. Yeah, we have that a lot on our research area in Alabama. So you'll know they're there because it's like they mess with the dogs, they torment the dogs, and all the dogs will be going nuts. And if you record that, you'll usually catch the Sasquatch within it going whoop, and then there'll be all this damn dog barking and stuff going on. I don't know why they do it. Maybe it's entertainment. Maybe it's to cover their tracks or like their sounds as they're walking through and things like that. But it's definitely something we're noticing. It's really hard to get audio without that in there. We've had to place recorders out on other sides of the property. So when you were hearing this, what did you do? Were you was it far enough away where you didn't feel worried about it, or are you even worried about Bigfoot at all hurting you? I know, because you go out there all the time by yourself.
I usually try not to go out at night alone. I usually drag my boyfriend with me.
Right.
But sometimes it drives him crazy, so I go alone sometimes. But he was with me that time. I'm actually more worried about people in the woods than
no
Bigfoot.
doubt.
Like, obviously I have my concealed carry, but I'm like, maybe if I do encounter a Bigfoot that's aggressive, I just want it to be quick. So
yeah, right.
Yeah. I don't want to be in David Paulides' new book or next book. So
yeah, no doubt.
But
having that dude come to your house and look through all your house and staring from the corner as he's telling the story. I don't know if you've seen his movie, but he's got someone where he's in there with this lady. She's seen one out the window, and he's just like in the back of the corner of the room, just kind of staring at her. I'm like, damn, bro, that sight right there is spookier than the Sasquatch. So what did y'all do? You heard the whoops. Did y'all leave, or were you kind of like, oh my God, did you hear that? Because you said your boyfriend's a skeptical person.
We both didn't know what we were listening to, because like it did sound like a whoop to me, but obviously I'm like, I can't just like say every noise I hear is a Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to get like more recordings of it, and eventually we're walking up. We walked a little bit farther up, and we're not really hearing it much anymore, because this only went on for like 10-20 minutes, but we only heard like the one I recorded. That whoop I recorded was the only like the higher quality one. So it did sound like we did have quite a bit of distance between us and whatever it was. The one weird thing we did hear that night that was nearby us was like a groaning noise that was really close to my boyfriend and I. But like as I said earlier, we're near a bunch of farms, so there's cows in the farm, like directly to the 200 yards from us. So
Right.
I wasn't too sure what we heard. It could have been a cow, but it didn't sound like a mooing noise. It sounded like a deep groaning noise,
Okay.
and it was pretty close to us. So I'm like, you know what? We're not gonna be on a cliff face and these sitting ducks here. So we went back down.
Right. Now, are you ever camping out there overnight, or is that anything you're planning in the future?
Yeah, we're planning on camping out somewhere in this area. There's been sightings, like a few other Bigfoot sightings in the area, like north and south of me. So we're trying to find a place where we could camp out. It's just the ticks are so bad this year.
I'm telling you, like, I have never, and I'm a yard dog, right? Like when I was raised, you went outside, you eat your cereal, you watch your cartoons, whatever. But then you go outside and you come back when the street light's on. If you need something to drink, you got to hit the water hose. You know what I mean? And we were in the woods all the time. That's where we live. And I've never seen the ticks so bad in my life as I have this year. I don't know what that's about, but now they got this whole thing where you get alpha gal or something and you can't eat meat. And if that's the case, y'all just I'm going to have to just I'm going to have to take myself out. It's, I can't have no chicken. I love fried chicken. If I can't have that, I'm going to be in a bad way.
I think you can have chicken and fish. It's red meat you can't have. It's like mammalian meat you can't have.
Oh, so no steak.
Yeah. So like no beef, no pork, no deer, but
might as well become a Muslim at that point.
I think that's how it is.
Either way, I got to have my steak too.
Oh yeah.
Now, not on the Bigfoot topic, but I see your new California Republic flag behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a fan of the video game, or are you a fan of the TV show?
The video game. During the pandemic, when I was in college, in my free time, I watched Let's Out because I grew up watching that show,
Mm-hmm.
and I was playing video games because what else can you do? You can't go anywhere. So I started playing like video games like Stalker, Metro, and Fallout. So like I have a Stalker tattoo and the Metro tattoo.
Okay.
I have the New Vegas, New California Republic flag.
Now, did you like the TV show? Because I'm not a video game person, right? We had Sega and Super Nintendo when I was a little kid, and I've always had video games, but I've got a PS4. I don't have a PS5, but I just don't play them. And I'd never played Fallout, but the damn TV show, my favorite actor, Walton Goggins, is in it. And I absolutely loved the show. It was amazing. How did you like it as somebody who already knew about Fallout?
I'm not like too big into Fallout, like deeply into it, like the other Stalker and Metro I'm in. So like, but like as a show in of itself, yeah, the show is pretty good. Like I enjoyed watching it. So, it was definitely made for a larger audience than people who've played the Fallout video games.
Right. Yeah. To me, it was the best video game adaptation to screen.
Oh yeah.
Right. I watched the new Mortal Kombat the other night, and that was good. I liked it. But they always swing and miss with these things. You thinking, what was the one, Hitman? I was really looking forward to that one, and because the game was so cool, and then the movie comes out and it's just absolute dog shit. But the Fallout, they did a good job. I guess, I don't know. I wasn't familiar. I knew what the video game was, but I'd never played it. So anyways, back to Bigfoot. Enough nerding out. Okay. I'm going to play this first video. It's a nighttime video. Okay. Tell me what's going on. We're going to watch it, and then you talk about what's going on in the video. Okay.
Okay.
All righty. So, what was going on here? I see the light, and it was in front of you, and then it looked like it moved. What do you think those lights were?
I think that was eye shine of something behind a tree.
Yeah, you just moved the camera, and so it kind of had that trailing effect on it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna play it again, but this time, walk us through the backstory. Tell us what's going on, okay?
So of course I dragged my boyfriend out to go hiking with me at night again.
Right.
And right off the bat, when we're walking down a trail, we hear like a scream. So my first thought was it was a coyote because they're pretty common where I go hiking. And but it seemed a little off to be a coyote. I wasn't 100% sure. So we headed in a direction where we heard the scream. And we're walking along the trail, and there's a lake, a man-made lake that the trail runs across, so we're just following that. And so we walk about 20 minutes down the trail, and then we start hearing coyotes yipping and making noise, but not really screaming. And so we turn around, and then as we're walking, I'm shining my flashlight along the so there's like a hill and then it goes down, and then it leads into the lake. I'm shining my flashlight, and I see a raccoon, and it has eye shine. And then I'm like, okay, it's a raccoon. So we keep going, and then I'm just looking back to make sure I'm not being followed by the coyotes. And I noticed the eye shine is still watching me, but the eye shine was a different color. It was like that same orangish yellow color. And I'm like, that's a little weird, because I don't know how a raccoon would have moved like that. And as we keep walking, at one point, I felt like a rock land near my feet and roll. And I'm like, I asked my boyfriend, like, did you kick a rock? And he said no. So I'm like, that was weird. Because like, it's not every day where you feel like a rock gets thrown at you. And sure, like there's walnut trees, there's Osage orange trees, there's chestnut trees in the area. So it could have been one of those, but we keep walking further, and I'm still seeing that eye shine watching me and my boyfriend. And we get to this one point where the trail turns to the right. And when I'm shining my flashlight, I see the eye shine again. And then if you look in the video, when it's going up and down, you can almost see a shadow of something there with the eye shine. Almost in like a humanoid shape, but it's kind of hard to tell.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that when I'm walking. So I'm like almost panicked because how close it got to us. And when you could see the in the earlier part of video you could see the eye shine move again within like a second. So it covered a bunch of ground in 1 second, and it was silent, whatever it was. And
yeah, because like if you see, you've got two arrows here, and they pop up really quick. Everybody that's watching, you look there, and then there's another one. It's hard to see. You got to be looking for it. I want to give a shout out to my daughter, Allison. She is watching from her bedroom right now with her boyfriend, and she asked for a shout out. So there it is. All right. But yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So whatever it was, so maybe there were two, but maybe when I'm thinking there was only one, but it covered a lot of ground really quickly, because it almost looks like it was down low, and then it stood up and then darted. And that's maybe like, it's hard to say exactly, maybe 30 feet. And there's like a divot there, almost like a small ravine.
Right.
So it would be kind of hard to judge height and everything. And the one thing that got me was it was silent. And in my research of Bigfoot, It seems like they can move pretty silently in the woods, even when running. And if you hear them crashing through the brush, it's because they want you to hear them.
Right.
It's like these are creatures that live in the woods the whole life, so they're adapted and intelligent enough to want to be silent and elusive, and they just want to watch you move out through the woods. And so whatever it was did not really want to be known it was there. It just wanted to watch us.
Gotcha. Now, is this a place where you found one of the tracks?
Yeah, it was the same state park.
Okay. And was that the one that had your foot beside it, or was it the one that was in the mud or the gravel?
Those two were the same park.
Oh, okay. So this is all in the same park. So you also found this track
And
here
the casting there too.
and the
Actually,
casting.
I forgot to mention, I actually reported that video. The other video I was telling you about, when I had my phone filming and we caught that movement in the background, I sent it to the BFRO, and they sent a guy out, and when he was looking in that area, he found even more footprints.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So did you go on a BFRO? I was kind of confused in the email. Did you go on a BFRO expedition, or did they just have an investigator come out and meet you and like take your story?
They had an investigator take my story there.
Right.
Yep.
Now, I only ask this, and I want to preface this with I don't believe in these things. Most of the people I've talked to seem to be fibbing for some reason. But I've got two people that I've talked to that I believe them, so I'm kind of torn. But Ohio has a lot of dogman sightings. Do you believe this could have been a dogman, or do you think that was a Sasquatch?
Honestly, I hope it wasn't a dogman.
Yeah, right.
I don't necessarily believe in dogmen. Like, what I think people are seeing are some like Bigfoots, like what are they called, like gugwies?
Yeah, good. Yeah,
And they have, like,
I'm
they
not a
also have
good.
the baboon snout, and I mean, when you're afraid, you will see something differently than what you're really seeing. So I feel
Right.
like a lot of people are seeing Bigfoots instead of dogmen. But
Yeah, I kind of share that, as well. But you never know. There was a ranger here that hit one during the 97 fires, and in the Apalachicola National Forest, he ran it over out by Monkey Creek, and he described it as having a snout like a baboon.
yeah.
But it had feet just like a Bigfoot, right? It didn't have nothing like a dog.
Yeah, and that's what I think is going on. But like, I don't like to discredit people or call them liars if they say they saw a dog man.
Yeah, 100%. I hope they're lying because
Yeah, me
I don't want to run into one of these things, but I haven't seen one, so it's hard for me to make that stretch. There's like certain things I hope people are lying about, like the rake. I hope that's like an urban legend, because if I see some shit like that in the woods, I ain't never going back.
Yeah.
I'm done. So, okay, so let's pull up this next video. This is the last video we got, and this was a daytime thing. So I'm gonna play this, and this was in the same state park.
I think so. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Is it?
Oh, okay. It's this one right here.
Oh yeah, this is the video I was telling you about. When it went silent, and the when I saw the movement in the video. There's the movement there.
Bro, that is so weird. Now, were you aware this was even watching you, or was this something you looked at when you got home and noticed it?
No, I had no idea there was anything there other than the it just being silent and rustling. I heard nothing else, but or saw nothing. I did get that feeling, like as I mentioned earlier, I did have that feeling like I was being watched. But
Right.
other than that, like I didn't see anything. Like my right eye has really bad vision of astigmatism in my right eye.
Mm-hmm.
So like I would be looking in that direction with my right eye, so I wouldn't be able to see it that well. But
That's definitely cool.
yeah.
You could see how big the thing is. I hope it's a Bigfoot. Though it'd be scarier if it was a person.
Oh yeah.
You know, but that's a good ways away from you, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
What'd you say, about 50 yards?
I'm trying to think 50 to 100 because that crooked tree is about 50 yards off the trail.
Right.
And I don't know exactly how far the thing in the video is behind that tree.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, he could be a ways off of the tree, 10 yards or so as well, you know.
I did go back to the location to like try to measure how big it would have been. And like I'm wearing a purple t-shirt at the time. And the one thing I noticed was even I'm wearing a brightly colored purple t-shirt, you can't really see me that well in the video when I was trying to measure it. So I can't imagine something in dark colored hair or clothes being even any more visible.
Right.
Yeah.
That's wild. And what year was this? This is recently, ain't it?
Yeah, this was May.
Oh, this year.
Yep, this year.
Now, how far are you from the flap? Because the flap ran through May, didn't it?
No, it went to March. It was March, early March, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So I used to live an hour from where the flap was. And now I live 3 hours away, maybe, off the top of my head.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I live on the opposite end of the state now. But I was so pissed when I found out that the when the flap happened. I'm like, darn, if I still lived up there, you know what? I would definitely go back up there.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, what are your future plans? You know, because obviously the BFRO, they found tracks when they were there as well. You know, you've got some really cool stuff that you found so far. What are your future plans?
Obviously continue like going out looking for signs of Bigfoots. Hopefully not any dogmen.
Right.
But really just like keep going to places. Like I like being out in nature. So
Yeah.
even though I'm not like looking out for Bigfoot, I still like being in nature. But like I spend so much time in nature because that's like my only hobby.
Yeah.
I do find a lot of stuff only because I'm out like multiple times a week in the forest, and so I'll continue doing that. I'll definitely still doing my night investigations. I've been writing a book since May because I've always been into Bigfoot and doing research. It just wasn't until recently I had my own experiences.
Right. Now, let me get this other question off my mind. How far are you from Loveland, and have you heard the story about the Loveland frogmen?
I'm about an hour away from Loveland.
Okay.
Yeah.
I take it you're aware of it.
Lived an hour, not an hour. That was the next city over from him before he moved in together.
Right.
And I've been meaning to go out to Loveland and like see. I can see the frogman, but I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna find anything.
No, probably not, but it's one of those things like I was going to West Virginia and I made a stop out of my way in South Carolina to go by like Scape-Ore Swamp where the lizard man was seen, and I went to the Lizard Man Museum, which was quite disappointing. But it's just a part of history, and if you're into this kind of stuff, that's how I like nerd out, so I'm like, oh, we got to go check this out. And
Yeah.
I still have my bag of lima beans, that the lizard man is said to love. So they were selling like little bags of lima beans. I had to buy one. So what's your book called and when will that be out?
It's called Bigfoot: Everything You Need to Know About North America's Favorite Cryptid. And we're editing it right now, so it should be out within a week or two, maybe.
Okay.
Just depends when it's edited, and it should be on Amazon. And since I'm self-publishing it,
Right.
yep.
Well, if you, when you get it, if you'll send me the link, I'll throw it in the description and people can check it out later. But where can they check you out? You said you're on YouTube. You got some social media. Where can they find you? They want to follow along in your adventures.
Yeah, my YouTube is Skinwalker's Adventures, spelled the same. So it's Skinwalker's space Adventures. And then my
Okay.
Instagram is Skinwalker's no apostrophe _ adventures. So they're the same. And you follow me on Instagram. So if someone looks up your account and then they hit your following, you'll find me.
Now, let me ask you, with that kind of name, what's your thoughts on skinwalkers?
Okay, so I chose my name Skinwalkers because Skinwalker was because when I used to make music, and that was the name I would use was Skinwalker. And so the reason I chose Skinwalker's Adventures was it was a separate project of mine. So that's why I have the name Skinwalkers. And my opinion of Skinwalkers are that they were actually like a real thing of like I don't know the exact term, like medicine men almost in Navajo in Navajo folklore, but all they really are just like people who would do like black magic out away from the other people.
Okay, now,
I don't really think they're like shapeshifters or anything.
right. Yeah, I also hope those things are not real. I hope everybody's making that up. Now, when it comes to Bigfoot, when you look at the evidence doesn't point to it being a primate. The evidence doesn't really point to it being a hominid. The evidence doesn't really point to it being paranormal. It's just kind of there. You know what I mean? It's all different styles, all different stuff. But where do you fall? Because the community is pretty divided on it being paranormal or being, something biological, I guess, from this realm of existence. Where do you think that Bigfoot, or what do you think that Bigfoot is?
I'm not too sure really where I stand. I'm like really stuck in between primate and human.
Mhm.
When I mean human, I mean like Homo sapien human.
Right.
So maybe there's like a subspecies or something. Like I didn't study biology. I studied mathematics in college in grad school. And when I first started doing Bigfoot, I would say, oh yeah, Gigantopithecus. That's what Bigfoots are. But now I'm starting to think they're more like a human, like either like very closely related to human, or almost like at some point we split off, and then one species became a human, one became Bigfoots. I'm not really into like the supernatural realm of Bigfoots or interdimensional. It's not because I don't believe it. It's just like I'm not convinced. Like I haven't had my own experiences with like anything supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
While out doing my Bigfoot investigations, could that just be only me? Probably, but like I'm not gonna like be dismissive of it. Like if somebody says they saw a Bigfoot cloak or they saw orbs when they think of Bigfoot sighting, I'm not gonna call them a liar or anything. I'm just more leaning into they're like almost like a human.
Right. And when I started, I was the same way. I thought Bigfoot was some type of ape or something because that's where the evidence was leading me at the time. But the longer I got into it, I tell you, it's the orbs that, like having Bigfoot activity and then having orbs at the same time, that's what's kind of pushed me into, hey, I don't know anymore. I'm open to whatever. As like if you had talked to me in 2012 and told me what I was saying right now, I'd be like, oh yeah, I done lost my damn mind. Like he needs to tighten up, something like that. But it just, your journey will take you to that path, and sooner or later you're going to have to deal with it. You know what I mean? And when it happens, it happens. And maybe it doesn't happen. Like my buddy Cliff, he's seen the orbs too, but he just won't, he doesn't put the two and two together. And like when Small Town Monsters was down here and I took them out, they were asking me, why do you believe Bigfoot could be something else? And then that night we heard knocks, and then a couple people seen this big orb fly through the trees. And then I told them, I said, that right there is why I don't know anymore. And they were all like blown away at first, like, oh my God, I can't believe this just happened, blah, blah, blah. And then like 20 minutes later, they're sitting there talking themselves out of it. So which is hard to not do, but I always tell everybody, don't talk yourself out of what you saw. Don't talk yourself out of what you experienced, no matter how crazy it sounds. You need to go with what your thoughts were in that moment. That's why it's always important to either video record what happened or write it down. As dumb as that sounds, maybe as simple as sending a text to somebody, but you'll get there. You'll one day you'll run across it, and just be open-minded to it, because next thing you know, you'll be a hippie like me, and you'll be out there with a singing bowl and talking to the woods, and you too will think that you have lost your mind. But I appreciate you coming on tonight. It has been a good interview. Everybody has really enjoyed it. Tell everybody one more time where they can find you.
YouTube is Skinwalker's Adventures. Instagram is same thing, Skinwalker's Adventures, but underscore in between. Right on.
Well, seriously, let me know when that book's out, and I'll do what I can to promote it and send some people your way. And I appreciate your time. And if you ever get anything else you want to holler, you got my email, just reach out to me.
All right. Thank you for having me.
All righty. Thanks so much.
All right.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody. That was an interesting interview. This video here showing, both of these videos I played, right? Like both of those videos she brought. Let's skip ahead here. This makes me wonder why I don't go back and watch more of my videos. What kind of stuff is in the background? Scott Carpenter kind of, got credit for putting the camera on his back. A lot of people have done that, but he was kind of the one that really got that out there to everybody, and he caught stuff. And then this was so cool with the eye shine. That makes you wonder what the hell that was. Anyways, interesting stuff by Olivia. So that was really cool. But let's get back to it. Gonna open the lines tonight. But first, I want to remind everybody Bigfoot and Brews in Chipley, Florida, 1901 on Main, the winery there. We'll be there from 12 to 4. Jason Monk, Dustin Tudip, and myself will be doing, PowerPoint presentations and answering your questions. If you got an encounter story you want to share, this is the perfect place to do it. So if you're in North Florida and you'd like to go to a Bigfoot event that there's not a million people at, come by. For sure, come by and say, hey, I'll let you buy me a Dr. Pepper. How about that? And the members only expedition. If you're a member, if you're a cave dweller, be sure to come. Come meet us. Kentucky Dan's going to be there. Shane Grove, I'm trying to get him to drive down, but he always complains. He's like, it's 5 hours. I'm Shane Grove. You can't expect me to do 5 hours. I'm like, get your big ass in the car and drive down here, son. So most likely he'll be there, plus some other special guests. Papa Squatch will be there. Jared from the Lowdown Podcast, he will be there as well. We'll be guiding you people out into the Red River Gorge, hoping to have an encounter with a mythical creature known as Sasquatch. All right. So, as everybody knows, if you've been here for a while, you've heard about Curly's Canyon, okay? And you heard the Curly's Canyon episode. And I urge you, if you heard the Curly's Canyon episode, I want you to know we got our first call. Switch my headphones 1 second. You're on the Bigfoot Underground. Hello.
Hey, Stacy.
Yes, sir. 1 second. 1 second before we start the call. I was in the middle of something. Okay. Anyways, people, we'll get to that in a second. The Curly's Canyon thing is happening soon. We are leaving here soon. And I'm looking to get a thermal drone. The place I used to rent them from, they don't rent them no more. And so we're going to be raising money, extra funds. If you guys want to donate to that expedition with me and Les Stroud, you can cash at me. You can hit me up on PayPal, anything but on here because YouTube takes half. If you got money to kick in, we are looking to raise money for a thermal drone so that we can see Curly. Okay, so let me get to this call. How you doing, bud?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man.
Huge honor.
Well, honor's all mine, brother. What can I do for you?
So let me start by saying my whole life, I'm 52 years old.
Okay.
My whole life, I've always said I believe in Bigfoot. I've had a couple of encounters that were questionable, but last month in June, 3 years ago, I started vacationing in the Great Smoky Mountains. Now, I grew up in Florida. I've lived in Florida my whole life. Never saw mountains, never had the chance to take vacations. So about 3 years ago, I said, I got to start taking vacations. And that's where I always said the first place I'm going to go is the Smoky Mountains. I grew up on dirt bikes. I've been in the woods my whole life. I started riding dirt bikes when I was 4 years old. At 5 years old, I was in the woods by myself riding my dirt bike. So I've always been in the woods. Long story short, my first vacation, I said, I'm going to go hit the tail of the dragon on my motorcycle. Been talked about all my life. My brother goes twice a year. So that's what I did. Well, I fell in love with that area. Went again last year to Maggie Valley. And when I was in Maggie Valley, I noticed a couple things. I wasn't thinking about Bigfoot. I had planned to go see the ghost lights on the Blue Ridge Parkway, which was only a few miles away. Chickened out because I know there's been Bigfoot encounters there, and I want to see one, but I kind of don't. You know, it's scary. So, third time we went to Bryson City. This was last month.
Did you take
and
the
we're
train
right
there?
On the.
Sorry to interrupt.
I'm sorry?
Did you take the railroad in Bryson City?
No, we were gonna, but
That shit's
it's
badass.
so
I've done it myself.
expensive.
Oh yeah, it's expensive, but you stop like in this gorge, and you're in the middle of the woods, and there's like a store there. It's cool as shit, bro.
Yeah. I've seen several videos of it, and I wanted to go, but there was 5 of us, you know, and for 5 people, it just was outrageously expensive.
Oh yeah.
So we just enjoyed nature. We went to the Indian, back to Tellico Plains where I went the first time. Went to the Indian Boundary recreation area, which is beautiful, and there's been encounters there too if you look into that area. So we're right on the southern edge of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, right at the trailhead of the Thomas Divide Trail. Our cabin's right there next to it. So the first night we're there, I said, you know what? I'm going to get the casino out of the way. We get there on a Sunday. It's like 6, 7 at night. I get the fire going for my family in the fire pit in the backyard. And then I go to the casino to play poker. I play poker, come home. It's probably 11:30 at night, and ask my wife, hey, did you keep the fire going? How'd it go? She says, it was great, but I heard 2 women arguing and could hear them plain as day, but could not understand what they were saying. And I made a joke saying, oh, you heard 2 female Bigfoots, balking at each other. And she's like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then just dismissed it. So the next night, Monday, well, let me start by Monday, during the day, we're there to enjoy the cabin. The year before we did Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge and all that. So we're there to enjoy the cabin this year. So we're there all day on Monday. Monday is a non-event day. We're not going anywhere. And all day long, construction trucks were going by our cabin, just past our cabin, and doing something in the woods, building something, or I don't know what they were doing. And then at the end of the day, the workers were partying, playing loud music. And then the music stopped when they were done, and then they started shooting guns. Now, I don't know if they were shooting at things or if they're just letting off steam. I told my wife and my mother-in-law, oh, it's just country folk. That's what they do. They're blowing off steam, and it, lasted for maybe 15 minutes of them shooting guns, big guns too. And, so it gets dark. All the workers leave. It gets dark. We're out there, got the fire going. About 9:30, my wife and mother-in-law go to bed, and I stay out there. I'm drinking a beer, smoking a cigarette, and around probably 10:30, I hear something, and as soon as I heard it, I knew what I was hearing because, like I said, my whole life I've been following Bigfoot stories. Growing up as a kid in the 80s and 90s, like the Unsolved Mysteries and stuff would have Bigfoot editions and whatnot. And, I've heard the recordings, the Sierra sounds from 71, I already knew about. And I'm sitting there enjoying a beer, and all of a sudden, not only do I hear, but I feel in my chest a roar, growl kind of roar, very deep, go, and as soon as I heard it, I knew exactly what it was. And I was like, oh, this is happening. I can't believe this is happening. And immediately after that first one, a different one, and this is like 50 yards away at the most, coming from the direction of wherever that construction was going on and the shots being fired and the music coming from that direction several hours later. Immediately after that first long growl that I could feel in my chest, ending in a high-pitched whoop, another one whooped back at it, and then they start whooping back and forth, and then a higher pitched one starts in. So there's at least three. If I had to estimate, there was probably five. And it sounds like they're arguing with each other. They are mad, and they are whooping back and forth all at the same time. Whoop, 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 whoop. And I'm flabbergasted. I'm not scared yet. I'm flabbergasted. I can't believe it. And it goes from whooping to speech. And it was undeniable, very clear. It sounded like they were arguing with each other in different pitches. So it was high-pitched ones and very low-pitched ones. Like I said, at least three of them arguing with each other in a language that sounded like a mixture of Japanese and Native American. It was like, sounded like the Sierra, the end of the Sierra recording. Sounded identical. And I'm going, I can't believe, because at first when it was the whooping, I'm still trying to rationalize it. Going, okay, maybe coyotes, but no coyotes have that low of a whoop. You know, it's just a different sound when coyotes hoot and howl. So I'm still trying to rationalize it, but then when it goes into the language, I know exactly what I'm hearing. So it goes on for about 45 seconds to a minute, maybe longer. I'm just flabbergasted. And I could have recorded it. And I've heard all these years of stories and people, and my response has always been, you know, why didn't you pull out your phone and record? But you're not even thinking about that because you're so beside yourself in awe of what you're hearing. So it stops. And I go running into the cabin and I tell my family about it. And, you know, they all think I'm crazy, except for my nephew and my granddaughter. They both believe me. Ask them, hey, if it starts doing it again, do you want me to come get you? And my nephew's like, nope. And my granddaughter's like, heck yeah, come get me. So I go back out there. I'm walking down the deck to the backyard, and I go to sit back where I was sitting. And before my butt could hit the chair, I hear branches breaking the size of big branches breaking, like baseball bat size branches, and a bunch of them breaking. Like it kind of sounded like a tree falling up, like when you cut a tree down and all the branches hit before the final thud, without the thud. So all the branches breaking without the thud, that's what it sounded like, about 20 yards away, much closer than the voices were. And my butt didn't even hit the chair. And I audibly said, nope. And I ran in the cabin, locked the door. And I mean, my wife recorded me walking around. I felt like Neo when he finally realized what the Matrix was. You know, I felt like I'd been given information that I always thought was real, but never really believed it. But now I'm convinced. 100% convinced.
Now let me.
It was. Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Let me ask you a question. Okay, you heard something that sounded like the Sierra sounds. Now,
Yeah.
in the Sierra sounds,
almost identical.
right? I've heard something similar. Not really. It just sounded like deaf people. It didn't sound so much like that samurai chatter. But I'm not saying people don't hear that. So don't take this wrong. But when I listened to the Sierra sounds, I always suspected they were fake because they never talked over each other. One would talk and it would stop, and then the next one would stop. Now, when you heard the similar thing, was that the case, or did they talk? Did they talk over each other?
They were talking over each other, and very agitated.
Okay.
Very, very obviously agitated. And after thinking about it for a while, my thoughts of what was going on was, it's purported that they're nocturnal. And I'm thinking that whatever construction was going on, whatever they were doing in the woods, I don't know what they were doing, the work trucks, kept them up during the day. And then the shooting. Now, the shooting, I don't know if, like I said, I don't know what the shooting was about. I just assume that they were blowing off steam, but they turned the music off and then started shooting. So, and the shooting started maybe 10 minutes after they had turned the music off. So, my thought is that the Sasquatches were kept awake during the day, and they were pissed about it. And they went to the construction site to investigate what kept them up all day. And that's what they were hooting at each other about and getting agitated. Maybe they were tearing stuff up. I don't know.
Now, was the construction site, were they tearing woods down?
I don't know. Possibly. I never went and investigated. I never drove that direction to see what it was, I kind of am kicking myself that I didn't, but, I don't know what they were doing. I did hear chainsaws, but I didn't hear any trees falling, but I did hear chainsaws, during the day that day. And that was it. The next day on Tuesday, actually, you know what? I did, when I went out Tuesday to go to the store, I did sit there and wait to see one of the construction trucks come by, and I was going to stop them and kind of ask them, what was going on in there. But the next day, they never showed. No more construction trucks came in. And when I say construction trucks, I mean like dualies, like dually pickup trucks.
Yeah.
White dually pickup trucks with, the heavy duty trailers on them, fifth wheels and stuff like that. And one was a pickup truck based dump truck. He was hauling stuff out. I saw when he was leaving. So yeah, they were taking, it was debris. It was limbs and debris like that.
I tell people if they want activity on an area, they want to stir the Sasquatch up, cut some trees down, clear some property.
Yeah.
It pisses them off everywhere I've been. It's like, and here's the weird part, right? So like the same shit happens in haunted houses. If you go and start remodeling a house that is haunted, the spirits in that house, the activity will pick up and go crazy. And it's
you're changing their environment.
Right. And it's the same thing with the Sasquatch. This is another reason that I think all this stuff is connected. I could be wrong, but it's just a thought I have. Now, when this was this year?
It's valid. This was last month. This was June.
Oh, this was in June. Wow.
Yes. Yes. This just happened. You're the first person I've really told about it other than my family.
I appreciate you telling. Now,
yeah.
What did your family say to you when you told them?
Well, my nephew already believed Bigfoot existed, and he believes other weird stuff like the Dogman and something he told me about on the ride up that I'd never heard of, a non-deer.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you know what that is.
Oh yeah, not deer.
Not deer.
I thought I saw
deer?
one. I thought I saw one in Salt Fork one time. I didn't. It was a regular deer, but when I saw it, the deer was peeking around a tree at me, like it was standing up. And what I guess what it was, spooky. Yeah, I guess what it was had done was trying to eat something that was hanging from the tree, and so it like stood up against it. And I just see this deer head. Up. Yeah, I see this deer head just poke around the tree at about 5 or 6 feet up off the ground. And I was like, oh shit. You know,
yeah,
like
I'd spoil myself.
It scared me, man. But no, it was just a regular deer. But that what was his story about the not deer?
He was just telling me he had heard stories about it.
Okay.
I don't remember anything specific. But yeah, I had never heard of it before.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, and you know, that area is right on the edge of Cherokee. Right. And you know, the Cherokee people have many stories going way back.
Right.
The next day I went to Cherokee because for anything we needed, we would just drive into Cherokee because it's 5 miles, I think. And I went to the gas station to fill up, and the lady at the counter was an older lady, probably in her 60s. And I said, you know what, I'm going to ask. And I said, you know, don't think I'm weird, but do Bigfoots exist? And she didn't even crack a smile. Well, first I asked her, do you live here? She said, yes. I said, have you lived here long? She said, all my life. I said, don't think I'm weird. Do Bigfoots exist? And her face went flat as flat can be. No smile, no nothing. And she said, oh yeah. Oh yeah. I said, that's what I thought. And as soon as I said, that's what I thought, she said, you heard one, didn't you? I said, I sure as shit did. And she, then a customer walked up behind me. So I just kind of cut off the conversation, but you should have seen her face. It just she went from smiling like, hey, how you doing? When I asked that, her expression just completely changed and said, oh yeah. I said, yeah, that's what I thought. Now I started to tell you what I had noticed when we stayed the year before in Maggie Valley. What I noticed in Maggie Valley was the town shuts down at 8 o'clock. Nothing is open. At 9 o'clock, you don't see cars on the road. You don't see anybody on their front porches. You don't see anybody out and about doing anything at 9 o'clock. And I thought it was weird. And, you know, what I think of, what it made me think of is, oh, they know things are out here. They know things are out here. They don't want to be out here. And another thing I noticed is I didn't see a cat the whole time we were there in Maggie Valley. And then when we went to Bryson City, I made it a point to look for cats just out and about in our travels. And in Bryson City, I never saw a cat. And I thought, well, I wonder if that's just an easy prey for Bigfoots. Are they eating them, you know, or what the deal is? Because, I mean, I'm in Florida. You see cats everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
So this Bigfoot property we were investigating, before I had gotten there, her cat, one of her cats, had been slammed up on a fence post, and it slammed it with its back and broke its back. So It had like a 90-degree turn in it when they found it. And the hair on the tail had been squished, right? Where it looked like somebody grabbed it and slung this cat up against it.
Tail. Yeah.
Yeah. And
incredible.
I like the Bigfoots, but I love kitties too. So, you know, like
Yeah.
you're going to have to get over that, brother. I don't know what it is. Seriously, like they don't seem to mind dogs as much, but the cats they
Right.
can't stand.
Well, I I appreciate what you're doing, man. I've watched you for a while. There's a bunch out there. So, I watched the what is it, the one you recently collaborated with,
Cabin in the Woods?
Cabin in the Woods, and then the other one that you just talked about actually a little bit ago.
Yeah, From the Shadows?
No, the other one, I keep wanting to say something monsters or anyhow, but I've been watching you for a little while. Well, actually, quite a while. When you and your dad got that thermal, is when I first started taking note and seeing you, in the different documentaries and stuff. And your video, that thermal, man, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have crapped myself. That was unreal. And your dad genuinely was scared.
100%, and I'd never seen him scared.
Right.
And it freaked me out, brother. Like I was.
And that's something why, you asked what my family thought. My wife, of course, wanted to dismiss it and thought it was funny, wanted to joke about it, but then said she knows I was scared. She said she's never seen me scared, and I'm not. Like I said, I've grown up in the woods, man. My whole life as a child.
Right.
When I'd get home from school, I'd jump on the dirt bike and I was gone for miles into the woods, here in Florida. And now I have had two other questionable experiences here. One here in Florida, one in Alabama when I was 12. But the one here in Florida, I was on Maytown Road, in an area that everybody would go riding dirt bikes and go mudding in their 4-wheel drives and stuff. Very popular place. Actually used to have a huge YouTube channel called 5A. That was the name of the place that I was riding. Me, my wife, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, well, my 2 sister-in-laws and my 2 brother-in-laws. So there was 6 of us on 4-wheelers. And this property has a 7-mile main trail that goes from Brevard County to Volusia County. Maytown Road is on the Volusia County part. We started off in Brevard County and we're riding our 4-wheelers. Now I had a 400EX, which was a sporty, fast 4-wheeler. They all had like 4-wheel drive 4-wheelers. So we're going down this trail and it's whoop-de-woos the whole way. It's a big, wide trail that goes for 7 miles. It's the equivalent of like a 4-lane highway is how wide this trail is. Goes for 7 miles through the woods with tons of offshoot trails coming off of it, going to different mud holes and stuff. So I get bored just, over these whoop-de-whoops for 7 miles, and I take off. I know where we're going. Tell them, I'll meet y'all there. I wanna haul butt. So I hit that trail for about 4 or 5 miles, just wide open. Bam, 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 bam. And I get to the end of it, which is Maytown Road, which is a paved road that goes in between Osteen and Oak Hill, and in the middle of nowhere. So north of there, it's like 50 miles of wilderness area, protected wilderness area. Nothing around, no houses, nothing. And I get to the end. I stop at the end of the dirt trail, and I smoke a cigarette, and I'm sitting there waiting for them to come. And it's going to be a while because, like I said, when I took off, I was 5 miles away from where I stopped. And sitting there smoking a cigarette, pointed with my back to Maytown Road, and across the road is just woods. Excuse me. So I'm sitting there waiting for them to catch up, and probably 20 yards behind me in the woods, I hear what sounds like 2 softball-sized rocks clack together. Clack, clack. Loud. And, you could just tell they were big rocks. And I'm like, what was that? And so immediately start trying to think, what could it be? What could it be? We have a lot of boars down here, and boars will clack their jaws. But this was so much louder. And like I said, it sounded like the rocks were at least baseball size, if not softball size, And I'm sitting here going through my head, what could that be? There's nobody around. This is at 3 a.m. on a Sunday night or a Sunday morning. 3 a.m, nobody's out there. We're the only ones out there riding. And so I'm going over it does it again. Clack, clack, clack. Loud. I mean, loud. And I cranked up my four-wheeler and I hauled ass until I got back to them, and I told them about it, and, they all were like, whatever, But to this day, I'm pretty sure I heard a skunk ape, blacking rocks.
Now,
I don't know.
Where is this place?
It is
What
on
county?
the Volusia County.
Okay.
Volusia County, Brevard County border.
Gotcha. Okay, so there's a lot of reports in that area.
Oh yeah.
Well, they go way back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I know one from that area from, I think, 71 or somewhere in the 70s. After that happened, I started looking up on, I don't know if it was the BFRO website or wherever it's, all the encounters are reported. And I found several in that area all the way back to the 70s.
Yeah, I'm about to, my website's being built, and there's going to be a database in there. The website is strictly, it'll post my new content and shit like that, but the main reason for it is the database. And I want it to where you can go on there, put your information down, and then it populates it onto a map. So it'll tell us exactly where it happened. And I'm hoping to build an unsanitized. The problem with the BFRO's thing is that they won't upload all of the reports, and then they'll sanitize some of them, things that talk about like orbs and shit like that, which whatever, that's their prerogative. It's their website. My website and my database is not going to be like that. The only thing I will get is an alert that tells me there was a new report, and then I just had to approve it. Just kind of making sure somebody didn't like insert some fucking wiener pics or something in there,
Right.
So don't want them going up on the website. But and I want to document everybody's stories. I want you to go to a database, and there be the rock clacking, and then there also the guy saw go to a portal. I want all the shit. I want every bit, because we actually have to have a data set that includes everything and is not I guess only steering the information towards one conclusion. Right.
Right.
So that's my hope. That's hopefully coming by October. Now
I did have one other when I was a kid. Now that one here in Florida was about 20 years ago. I was in my 30s when that one happened.
This is the one that happened in Alabama?
My first one was in Alabama. 20 years ago was here in Florida.
Right.
But when I was 12 or 13, I had something happen in Alabama. And now, like I said, I've grown up in the woods. I've never been scared. I've never come across a bear, which is what I'm most scared of. But it's because I've always been on a motorcycle, and I think it just kind of scares them off, you know? But at my family, my dad's side of the family all lives in Alabama, about 80 miles north of Mobile, a little town called Grove Hill. My uncle had moved to a new house on a nice piece of property, 5 acres, that was bordered by like 1,000 acres of private hunting lease. Very remote, very thick. And again, I can't stress enough, I have never been afraid of being in the woods. I'm 12 or 13 years old. I'm in the backyard by myself on this 5 acres of land. And all of a sudden, I get this fear in my soul. Just my whole body starts tingling. I've never felt it before. It's actually happening right now talking about it. My body is tingling, like goosebumps on the back of my, like the hair on the back of my neck is raising up. So as soon as I feel that, I get scared. And, you know, the house is built on a slanted property. So there's a deck at ground level, but in the back, in the backyard, the back porch, the back deck is elevated about 15, 20 feet off the ground. So it's a long staircase going up to the back deck to get in the back door of the house. Well, all I can think about is get in the house. And I have no idea why this is happening. So I'm walking up the steps at first, but hurrying up the steps, but still walking. And I hear a growl-like grunt. Almost sounded identical to the beginning of that first whoop I heard in Bryson City. Just a long growl. And I felt it in my chest, just like I did in Bryson City. I felt it. And I ran up those stairs. I looked back for a second, didn't see anything in the tree line. And I ran into the back door, which went into the kitchen nook where my aunt and my mom were sitting there. And when I came in, both their eyes got huge and said, they both asked, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing. And they're like, no. What's wrong? Like, nothing. I'm good. But they could see on my face that I was terrified. And so that's all that happened there. But, you know, it was strange. It was strange, the fact that I sensed it before I heard anything. And I was already on my way in. I've never been scared away from anything, you know. I pride myself in being, you know, not a coward, you know.
Right.
And I was scared. I was scared. And like I said, the weird thing was feeling it. I felt it watching me. I felt it watching me. And my body reacted to it. It was so weird. But yeah, those are my 3, you know, each progressively more, you know.
Right.
To now the point where I don't say I believe in Bigfoot anymore. I say I'm convinced there's Bigfoot. Next.
Now, are you ever thinking about going and doing some research, staying outside, you know?
100%. Actually, I've got the new Ford Bronco, and I'm going to fit it with AC lights, front, back, and sides. Because I would prefer to have the safety of my vehicle and just ride trails in places where they've been reported, like Green Swamp,
Right.
you know, and places not too far, you know, Ocala. I know Ocala like the back of my hand because that's where I always go riding.
Yeah.
So places like that, and camp out. I won't camp in a tent. You couldn't pay me to camp in a tent. I'll sleep in my Bronco.
Yeah.
But no way in hell will I ever camp in a tent again. You know, especially with some of the stories I've heard about, you know, like with that forest ranger that had a Bigfoot pushed down on that bacon grease stain on his tent, and he swatted it with his hand, and it was soft tissue that he hit, and it grunted, and then it pushed down again, and when he hit it that time, it felt like it was using its knee to push in, like you know, it was a hard bone that he hit the second time he swatted it.
Right.
You know, I don't want it. I don't want that encounter. I don't want it. You know.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him from a distance.
I'm kind of hoping I get the Albert Osman treatment, because I tend to sleep out without a tent. Just kind of lay on the ground. Sometimes it depends, man. Like in the summertime, I'm not doing that shit in Florida. I just did it up in Canada, but I'm not doing it here because you got the mosquitoes that tear you up, and then like the snakes will literally crawl up on you and try to get warm. And I'm not a fan of that. That's happened to me before as well. I woke up to a snake crawling across my lap. I just kind of grabbed it and threw it as quick as I could. And then at the same time, I got, like, not the same exact moment, but the same day, I got bit in the middle of my back. I was sleeping up against my backpack, and a wolf spider had crawled up there, and I guess I smashed him and he bit me, and it ended up looking like a huge zit in the middle of my back. So it just depends. If it's wintertime, you know, I'll definitely sleep just put the cot down and sleep on that. Hopefully I wake up and they're like pulling at my feet. I don't know if I would survive that, but you know, it sounds good on paper, right?
Well, probably a month before the Florida incident in Maytown, it's called the Brevard side is called Scottsmore. The Volusia side is called Maytown. Very historic area also. Mickey Mantle had a hunting cabin in the woods. It's still there. It's dilapidated. It's half falling over, but it's just a lot of history in that area. But about a month before the rock clacks, me and my brother-in-law were out there because we would ride at night because nobody's around, you know. During the day, on the weekends, there was a lot of people out there on four-wheelers and four-wheel drives and stuff. But at night, it would go dead. You know, people just left. Well, about a month before that, me and him were out there, and we decided to just go ahead and stay out there for the night. No tent, just slept on the dirt. We found a little dead-end trail that ended in like a berm where people would whip around on their four-wheeler and do a U-turn to go back out. So it's kind of like a little berm area. So you kind of were like sitting in a recliner when you'd sit in the sand there. So we slept there overnight with our four-wheelers right next to us. And through the night, I kept hearing stuff moving through the woods, kind of large, but I didn't think nothing of it, you know. But after, you know, some of the stories I've heard, And, especially like the tent ones, them coming through their camp while they're in tents. I have no desire to put myself in that position anymore. I was younger then, so.
Well, if you do want to come up this way, brother, I'll take you around and I'll show you. We can go to the film site, or I'll take you over to my other spot where we see the orbs and stuff. Once it cools down.
I'm seriously thinking about making the drive to that. What's this meetup you're doing? What town?
Oh, in Kentucky?
No.
Oh, up in
North
Chipley,
Florida.
Yeah, up in Chipley.
Yes, Chipley. I'm thinking about coming up there just to meet you. I think it's a 6-hour drive for me.
That's a trip,
so
but I'll be there, brother.
Yeah, I'm looking to make room to see if I can't go ahead and make it up there. I'd have to stay overnight for sure.
Yeah. Well, that place is where we're going to be at. It's very nice. I believe they got some entertainment going on after the show. I think they got a country music artist coming in and playing. But they got great food. They got hand cut ribeyes and stuff like that. So, I
already looked at their menu.
Yeah. It's, you can, have some good food and hear some Bigfoot stuff at the same time. Make a hell of an afternoon.
For sure. And then I can't do the Kentucky one, but if you end up doing something in Florida, especially if you end up doing something at Green Swamp area, that's only about an hour from me.
Okay.
And I'll definitely come help you out with anything. I've got a drone, and I'm thinking about getting a thermal. I've been kind of looking. I'd like to get a FLIR or something,
Dude, the prices have came down so far on these things that it is like, I had a guy send me one recently. Wish I could remember the name of it, but it's like a K3 or a KX pocket thermal, and it's no bigger than the palm of your hand, but you can see footprints. Like if you were to walk in front of me, I could just see the heat that your feet leave on the ground. Yeah, and
wow,
and that thing runs $4.99.
Very sensitive.
That's
not bad.
Nah, dude, the price, like, you got to figure that one that my dad caught the thermal on was over $3,000, and it's not as good as the one I got for $500.
Wow. Yeah, technology is just skyrocketed,
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I definitely want to get one. Now, does it record itself, or does it Bluetooth to your phone?
No, it records internally. You got to put a card in it and stuff like
card.
that. Yeah. But it's great, man.
Awesome.
Like, I wasn't thinking too much about it because, it's a $500 thermal. I was like, this would be all right just to have, but How
far away would it pick up a heat signature?
Oh shit. So I watch the raccoons on my front porch, and they're out at my shop. Okay. My shop is easily half a football field away from my house.
Okay.
And I can see them coons perfect. You can tell the raccoons. You know what I mean? It's not like, that could be a dog or that could be a possum. Like, no, that's definitely a raccoon you're looking at. It's very, very solid thermal. And they make better versions. They have an $800 one, that's supposed to be better than that one. And depends on what you want to spend, because the Pulsars, those ones for $4,000, those fuckers are amazing, dude. That's like some military grade shit.
I can imagine.
But yeah, for $500. And then hell, if you wanted to go even cheaper than that, the ones that go in your phone. Like, I made a video. If y'all look through my playlist, it was like top 5 tools every researcher should have, and I put that cell phone thermal in there. Brother, that damn cell phone thermal is great. The only problem is it hooks to your cell phone, so your cell phone's got to be charged. But outside of that, it's every bit as good as the one I got for $500. It's great.
I'll have to look into that. I've got a brand new Samsung S26, so It's got a great camera.
Yeah, you know, and you just stick that thing in the charging port in like your USB-C and record from your phone. But those things are amazing, dude. The only downside is that it lights up your face, but who cares? You know what I mean? It's like people are so worried about, oh, we got to hide from the Sasquatch. You can't let them see the light and stuff like that. And I used to be like that, but they know you're there.
No, I believe they can see at night. That's 100% obvious they can see at night. So it doesn't matter what you do. They're going to see you.
Yeah, that's the only real thing that we learned from my dad's video is that they can see it. He's still hiding.
Yeah.
You know, he has no other reason to believe that we can't see like they do. You know what I'm saying?
I remember the first time I saw that video. I don't remember who it was on, who, you know, it wasn't you, it was somebody else interviewing you. And when I saw it and it swayed to the left of the tree before it ran out, I said, oh, I got chills. I'm like, oh. And then when it ran out, I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God, 100%. I mean, people don't understand what Florida's like out in the wilderness. People don't just walk out in the middle of the night, you know, through the woods like that. It's treacherous terrain, you know?
Yeah, you're not just going to take off running into the woods without a flashlight.
Yeah, you're going to break your neck.
Yeah, or I mean, even if you had a flashlight, it would be incredibly stupid to just haul ass off into the brush where there's no trail. But I think that it in pitch black, man. I mean, you couldn't see your hand in front of your face.
No, I know. Yeah, Pete. Until you've been in it, it's kind of incomprehensible on how treacherous it is and how hard it is to navigate. Right. Even in the daytime. Yeah, dude, you're not going to run like that.
No, you get into some of these palmetto flats and stuff. There's just a ton of palmettos everywhere. And
turtle holes.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
You know,
people are like, oh, well, how can it stay hidden? Like, brother, walk in the fucking woods. And then you'll see exactly how these things can stay hidden.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, man, I really appreciate you taking my call. I hope everything, you know, your last week, I know you cut it short. You had some things going on. I hope everything's okay.
Everything's worked out, man. And
good.
I'm appreciative to everybody because, like, I know this is just a silly Bigfoot show and shit like that, but I had so many people reach out to me asking if I was okay, if Little Man was okay, and the prayers and everything. It's like that was great. You know, that in itself broke my heart. I was like, oh my gosh, it was amazing, dude. Well, and everything has worked out.
That's awesome. And you know, no matter how passionate you are about one thing or another, family is always first.
Yeah, it is. You know,
so we love you for it.
Well, I appreciate it, buddy. And I feel like it's a big family here. You know, it's always the crowd's growing, you know, but it's the same people every week in the chat and just going off. And it's one of the most amazing things that I've ever witnessed, you know, like building a community.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, I'm not a social person. I don't really care to talk much, but you've made it very easy. I actually just now, when you said that, realized that a bunch of people are listening. I just felt like it was me and you talking. So you do very well. Right. And I, like I said, I'm honored to talk to you, and keep up the good work, man. You're doing the right thing.
Well, buddy, I appreciate it, man. And thank you so much for your call. Don't be a
Absolutely.
stranger, you know. We do Q&As
will
and all
not.
kinds
You'll-
of stuff. Just reach out to me, brother.
I look forward to meeting you, Stacy.
Yes, sir. You have a good night, buddy.
All right, buddy. You too.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody. That was a cool-ass encounter. Now, where he said he was at, okay, let me pull it back up. Grove Hill, Alabama. It's 58.5 miles from our site in Alabama. That is a huge Bigfoot area. Evergreen, Alabama, even made itself the Bigfoot capital of the state of Alabama. So, okay, we've got some questions going on here in the chat. Bigfoot, Stacy, can you please tell us more about the knot deer? I've never heard of such a thing, but I've had an experience of something I can't classify that was like a deer. All right, I'm going to tell y'all on the best kept secret on YouTube. I don't know why more people aren't subscribed to this channel. I fucking love it. I don't listen to many shows. Okay, I don't have time. But my favorite show, and I'm not saying this because the hosts are my friends. They weren't my friends before. But the show Eerie Travels. I had Mark on here. Mark writes books, Weird Florida, The Dark Side of the Smokies. I think that's his new book, Dark Side of the Appalachians, maybe, but I think it's the Smoky Mountains. This dude is a wealth of knowledge, and he's documenting all this stuff for people like you, and he covers the knot deer. They talk about the knot deer a lot, okay? And I don't want to butcher it, so I'm just going to read you the definition offline. The knot deer is a modern internet urban legend and folkloric cryptid from the Appalachian region of the United States. It is described as a creature that looks like a normal white-tailed deer at first glance, but possesses deeply unsettling, uncanny, and wrong anatomical features or behaviors upon closer inspection. Witnesses report hard to read without front teeth, people. Witnesses report wrong bodily proportions, such as a moose-like size, extra or backward bending joints, unnaturally long legs or necks, and forward-facing predator eyes. Bizarre behavior includes, instead of fleeing like normal prey animals, a knot deer might stand completely upright on its hind legs, move with impossible speed, make strange vocalizations, or stare intently at humans with an eerie, intelligent malice. Sense of dread. People who claim to see them report an overwhelmingly instinctive wave of pure dread and the distinct feeling that the entity is watching or hunting them. So, that is the knot deer, people. And if you see one in the woods, run for your effing life, people. Y'all better start calling Jesus to help you out. But I'm going to go back to my friend Mark. Check out Mark's channel, Eerie Travels. He's on YouTube. He's on Apple, Spotify, all that stuff. It is great. And Erica is absolutely insane, his co-host. She believes the Twilight vampires are the best vampires and most strongest vampires in the world, which is wrong, Erica, if you see this. But they talk about so much folklore, ghost stories, things that happen in our neighborhoods that we don't know about, the forgotten history. And it's a really interesting show. If you're into the spooky, into the Halloween, right? If you're into that kind of shit, Eerie Travels, the best podcast on, seriously, it's one of my top 3 podcasts. Not going to lie to you. I used to listen to The Howler on From the Shadows podcast and Eerie Travels. And then you get Theo Vaughn, or it'd be a Miami Dolphins podcast for me. Outside of that, I don't listen to a whole lot of the stuff. Don't have the time anymore, especially since I'm not an Uber driver. However, okay, so interesting thing happened while I was on that call. Y'all have all heard about Snake correct? The guy with the Bigfoot body? Yes, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Anyways, September, Snake's going to be on the Bigfoot Underground. So I hope y'all are ready for that. I don't know if it's going to be in person. It may just be over Zoom, but at some point I'm going to get to see the body, what he has, you know. I'm just going to be honest with you people. I don't think it's real, okay? Doesn't mean I won't interview him. And I will be nice. I'm not going to be rude. I'm not a rude person. The man's giving me the time of his life, right? And give him time out of your life to talk to me. I'm going to respect that. But I don't want to talk to him. Like, I think it's great. Let's just say it's fake, okay? I don't think nobody takes this man seriously. I think if you do, it says something about you. But I think it's fun, you know, like, because if you watch his videos where people are viewing the body at the state fairs and stuff like that, they're thoroughly enjoying themselves. They're laughing. They're cutting up. You know, it's intriguing, right? It's one of those Minnesota Iceman type things, like a P.T. Barnum, come see the snake woman or something like that. You know, you pay the $2 at the fair to go in and see, right? Like the Turtle Man or something like that. Not Turtle Man. I shouldn't have said that. So like, you know, some little sideshow thing. And it's, to me, growing up, I loved the sideshows more than the rides. I fucking just wanted to go to the sideshows. I didn't want to play the games. I didn't want to ride the rides. I wanted to see the sideshows. And this is what that is. Now, does it make Bigfoot look bad? I don't think so. I don't agree with that. I know people are like, oh, it's a hoax or blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, calm the fuck down. Okay? Let's have some fun. You know, if he's got this Minnesota Iceman thing going around, like, if you look at him, I guarantee you that dude ain't like that in real life. When I've talked to him, dude's super nice, super respectful. He does watch the show. And, you know, my problem, it's like mountain monsters. I'll equate him to mountain monsters, all right? Mountain Monsters was one of my favorite cryptid shows of all time. Is it real? Fuck no, it ain't real. Yet at no point was it ever meant to be taken seriously. These guys are clowns, but they're clowns in a good way. You love watching them. They're entertaining. Fuck, man. One of the most entertaining cryptid shows, and that's why it was on for so long. People loved it. Did you think they were actually looking for sheep squatch or bat squatch? No. Hell no. But they're building a really cool trap, and it's entertainment, right? I think where you have your problems is when you have a show that's entertainment based, but they try to play it off like it's real, like Expedition Bigfoot. Or you have other guys going on Joe Rogan or whatever, and they're talking about a DNA study. A DNA study that's not real. Like, let's just clear the air on that. There are no DNA studies. That stuff that Darby's doing, that's not a DNA study. That's looking at hair under a microscope. Maybe they get into the DNA part of it eventually, but they're not there now. Or they weren't last time I talked to the man. And we published, the paper's been published. Yeah, because you bought the damn journal that published it. You can't do that. It has to be published in somebody else's journal, not one that you own. And the only thing that's ever been published in it is your Sasquatch study. That, in my opinion, does more harm, because here's the deal. There's going to be a damn day of reckoning where it's like, all right, let's see it. Put your money where your mouth is. And then there's where the wheels fall off. Daisy in a box. Like those you old heads that have been around in here for a little while. Y'all remember Daisy in the box? I remember the Erickson Project, all that bullshit. It was all bullshit. All of it. They just took your money. That's all they did. That was all they were worried about. They were worried about you clicking on their shit and taking your money and making money. And then the wheels fell off and somebody got called a hoaxer. It was all bullshit from the beginning. Like the Rick Dyer thing. Okay, Rick Dyer went on. He did the same thing. Ty Moore, that's exactly what I'm talking about. What about Melba? That's exactly the one I'm talking about. right? Like she got run out of the community in like 2014 for this shit and then rebranded and came back. It's not real. If it was real, Todd Disotell would have backed it, but instead he tore it apart. And then she had to buy her own journal to publish her findings. And I can't believe, because of that, I find that the new stuff is fake too. Y'all go burn me twice. But good old Dyer, yeah, Jeff Milkman. Good old Dyer. Dyer did it before. He had a Bigfoot body. He went on TV. And he was on CNN, had a big ass press conference. 2008, I bought into it. The Bigfoot in a cooler, right? And it was bullshit. And Steve Coles was all up in that. He was in it. I guess his side of the story is that I'm not saying nothing about nobody here. All right. Don't take this the wrong way. Steve will tell you the same shit. Steve was all in it. He was there with them, Biscardi and all of them. And then Steve says when he found out it was fake, he bailed. And then it became this good cop, bad cop thing. Now, if you talk to Rick about it, who I've hung out with Rick, I was in a movie with Rick. Rick's a great person. I mean, he's a fucking asshole, but he was cool with me. I've seen him treat other people like shit. But Rick said Steve knew about it the whole time. You know, and then when Rick did it again a few years later, 2008, right? Hoax. Government took the body. It was bullshit. It was a suit and a cooler. Right? Horror Dome made that suit. 2012, Rick Dyer shoots Hank, the Bigfoot. He tours it around the country. Dale Boswell, friend of mine in the Squatch Seekers. He was a tour bus driver. He was all up in that shit. DNA study with that one too. There was a DNA study with that one. It was hogwash. It was hogwash. But he fooled everybody again. Like, there were people, he made so much money off of the second one. Like, he seriously made a lot of money. And the whole time he's just fucking with everybody. He doesn't care about Bigfoot. Does that stuff give us a bad name? Maybe. But when you look at it, it's on you to discern. Discernment is on you. If you bought into that, especially the second time, like the first time I can understand, because he was a cop, you know, a jail guard, whatever he was, corrections officer. If you bought into it the second time, that is 100% your fault. The only person he made look like an idiot was you, because you wanted to believe so bad that you just ignored it, that you ignored everything about it. Fool me once. Shame on me, right? Ain't that how it goes? Fool me twice, I'm an asshole or something. I don't remember what that saying is. But yeah, I think when you look back at the Rick Dyer hoax of 2012, the bigger of the two, I don't think it was supposed to be taken seriously anyways. And this is the thing with Snake. Now, Snake may come on here and he's his persona of Snake. And that's fine. That's what I want him to do. I want to ask Snake these questions, right? I don't want to ask whatever his real name is. I want the WWE character. I want to have some fun, right? Because I don't see it as a problem. He's taking it to state fairs, people. Listen, if there was a DNA study and Sasquatch was proven, if our government didn't shut it down, then it would be all over the world. Like when you seen the DNA evidence from Expedition Bigfoot, where did that get released on? Comicbook.net. Do you really think the biggest discovery in our lifetime would be broke to the world on comicbook.net? Fuck no. Like, come on. Let's discern here. We don't have to fall for it. The rest of the world thinks we're fucking crazy anyway, so we're never going to prove it to them. We are never going to convince them. Their mind's already made up. I'm trying to. That was the point of my Journey to Belief series. However, we keep beating our, and I'm speaking of the Bigfoot community. We keep wanting to point fingers as to why scientists won't step into this shit, why they won't do this, doing that, but we never look in the mirror. We call them Bigfoots. We call them Bigfoot. That in itself is the problem. Okay? If we were to tell people, hey, brother, I think there's another type of human out here. I don't think they went extinct. That's an easier pill to swallow. You know, than Bigfoot. Because when you think of Bigfoot, you think Harry and the Hendersons. You think, something else. You think something silly. You think these stupid ass conferences that everybody goes to. Up there with people just lying through their teeth. Because most of them are. I hate to break it, everybody. It's a show. You have a bunch of showmen. That's all this is. Unfortunately. You do have some researchers in there. Some people who are actually out there trying to prove the shit. But when you see these people up at the conferences, ask them when's the last time you've been out in the woods. What are you doing? What are you doing to collect evidence? Had to fucking go silent. Or they'll tell you, well, hey, we're going out here on this date. And you can come for $3,500. You know what I mean? Not trying to preach. Y'all didn't come here for a sermon. I'll answer one question for open the lines back up. Deep Woods proctologist. He asked a question. I'm trying to find it. Do you think Justin Smea is telling the truth? I only ask because I know you've been around him. Justin is one of my favorite people on this planet. That dude, to be from California, I didn't think I'd fucking ever like somebody from California that much. That dude's awesome. Do I believe Justin? I do believe Justin. I've been to the spot. It is a horrific story. I will not take that away. But you got to know Justin. You have to think about things from the eyes of a hunter and not from the eyes of whatever we are. Right? I love animals. I love them more than people. And I think it's terrible to hunt, but people do it. It's a needed thing, right? And so when you think of his encounter from a hunter standpoint, it's not a big deal. They killed deer in worse ways than and then he killed them Sasquatch. I also seen a Sasquatch. My second visual sighting of a Sasquatch was with Justin Smea. Does that mean his story is real? No. But I've asked Justin that story 100 fucking times, and I'm being serious about that. I lived with him for like 8 weeks on Bigfoot Bounty. Like, we hung out all the fucking time. There's nothing else to do. We couldn't watch TV, couldn't get on cell phones, couldn't get on the internet. We were sequestered from the world. When I got back on that plane and turned my phone on, do you know how fucking different the world was? The Bruins had won the Stanley Cup. I was like, what? Egypt was in I think a civil war at the time. The world had completely changed in a matter of 2 months. But his story always remained the same. And I would try to trip him up. I would add in shit that he didn't say to see if he'd agree with me. It's something I do. Sneaky bastard I am. I'll add in details to your story. See if you agree with me. Because if you do, I know you're full of shit. But he would correct me real quick. I'd never say that. I ain't never said that. Why you said that? And he'd get pissed. He know what I was doing. He know what I was doing. He's a very intelligent person. Like, I know people don't give him, they're always some stupid ass redneck. I promise you he's smarter than most people walking around out there freelancing on the streets. That dude is intelligent. He's so intelligent. He doesn't try that hard because everything bores the shit out of him. Except for hunting. That's his one thing. So I do believe the Justin Smea story, and I encourage you all to watch the film. It is my favorite Bigfoot documentary. It's called Dead Bigfoot, and it's on YouTube. Watch it. It's an hour long. It's fucking great. The man passed the polygraph multiple times. If his story was fake, why did DNR raid his house as many times as they did? Justin Smea, funny story. Funny story. Justin Smea had we were having an expedition. Bigfoot Evidence was putting on. You could come and meet the stars from Bigfoot Bounty. And at the time, Megan Fox had been saying to the world that she was going to prove Bigfoot was real. And this is when Megan Fox was like super popular, right? Transformers was out. And he posted on Facebook, I'm picking up Stacey Brown and Megan Fox from the airport. This weekend's going to be amazing. He picked me up from the airport. They know Megan Fox. Fucking world ran with that story. Like that post blew up. Stupid, right? Like people have lost your fucking minds. She's riding. Megan Fox is riding up to the Sierras with me and Justin in his fucking rape van, white rape van. You know what I mean? Like get bent, bro. First day goes okay. We come down the mountain early that morning to get some supplies. This little store called Bassett's. We head back up. And when I tell you, before we turned that last curve right there to get to the kill site where we were camping. And when I tell you there were 50 cop cars lining the road, I mean there were 50. That is not an exaggeration. So many police cars. We get out. They're searching everybody. They're being dicks. I hit the wood line and I hide for the rest of it because they like lined everybody up and shit. And I thought we were going to jail, dude. I was like, oh my God, bro. But yeah, it was insane. Like, why is DNR watching him? They were seriously asking, where's Megan Fox? I guess they thought they were going to go up there and get the pictures and stuff and take us to jail for whatever. You know? But that was that, dude. It was strange. Like, if he's just playing, why are y'all making such a big deal out of this shit? What is going on? And it was insane. It was insane. I believe his story 100%. We are about to enter the last half hour here. I'm going to throw the flyer up and take a bathroom break. I will be right back. I cannot hold it no more. It is my main thought right now. So don't go nowhere. I'll be back in less than 2 minutes. Meanwhile, look at this cool ass flyer for the members only expedition. All right, and we're back. There you go, members only expedition. Y'all get a hold of me. I'm glad there's like woods in between me and the neighbors because I'll just be going outside the garage door. Gotta go, brother. Gotta go. Gotta go. Hopefully nobody was sitting in their vehicles. Like Noah or my daughter. They be sitting out there sometimes. Okay, let's switch back. Now the lines are open. I got 30 minutes left. I'll take one more call unless it's short, and we'll do another one. 850-695-0522 is the number. If you got a question, if you have a concern, if you got a story, I don't care if it's Bigfoot, ghosts, UFO, whatever. We got 30 minutes left here, people. We got 280 people streaming with us right now. Y'all, please hit that like button and subscribe so you can be notified in the future when we're doing more of these, which is every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Wojo in the chat. What's up, buddy? What is up? 850-695-0522. The number is scrolling on the bottom. So, as I mentioned earlier, the Curly's Canyon expedition, us going to try to recover the sleeping bag. If you haven't heard it, go back and watch it. I think the episode you're going to want to look for is titled, it's got like 90,000 plays. The guy called me the other day. He's like, whoa, dude. And I'm like, yeah, right. People like this story. It is, I think it's They Knew His Name is what the thumbnail says, I believe, if my damn phone would load. Well, call us up, Pedro. Give me a call. They knew about him. It looked like an ancient man. The Curly's Canyon. Me and Mr. Stroud are going soon. Real soon. Now we got another call from Oklahoma. Let's see who it is. You're on the Bigfoot Underground. Can I help you? Hello? Can't hear you.
Hello?
Hey, there you are. Who am I speaking with?
Is this Stacy?
Yes, sir.
From the Bigfoot Underground?
Yes, sir. We're live right now. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Sorry, I'm nervous.
Oh, it's all good, buddy. Everybody here wants to hear what you got to say, so nothing to be nervous about. They all want to hear it.
I'm sorry. I'm from Oklahoma, and I had a question.
Yeah, buddy, what is it?
You know what? Sorry, I don't mean to take up your time and all that, but I seen something when I was out in the woods, and it kind of messed me up. I haven't been out in the woods since.
Right.
I'm sorry.
That's all right, buddy. Nothing to apologize about, man. These things are hard to talk about sometimes.
A long-time watcher of your show ever since that first episode of West Route, and I haven't commented or nothing like that. That's not who I am, and it took a lot of calling in it.
It's all right, bud.
There was I seen a pair of eyes near my house.
Okay.
See, we live on this 20-acre little lot, and we go hunting out there. We ain't got much land, but deer will come over every once in a while. So we got this big, it's like one of those telephone poles with a light on it. Oh, can't even think of what it's called, but it comes on at night.
Yeah.
And the eyes, they messed me up. I have no idea what it was. I didn't hear nothing. I didn't see anything after that, but I seen them looking at me, and it was like it was staring through me. You know, it felt.
Take your time, brother.
What do you? As I said, I don't really take up your time and stuff, but
No, you're good, man. Get it off your chest, buddy. This is what this is here for, dude.
the eyes were like this amberish color, and I don't know what that could be.
Did you see any type of like figure, or was it just the eyes?
I could see the outline of something, but where that light is, all I could see was like, it was off in the distance, and it was out someplace where I go every day. And it stood at the very edge of the light, and I didn't see tracks there. I didn't see nothing.
Right. Did anybody else see this with you, or were you just by yourself?
I was by myself. That's why I haven't been out in the woods anymore. I'm scared I'm going to run across it. I'm scared. I don't want. Hunting is a passion of mine, or it was. I don't even want to go outside.
Well, I know this may not help you any, but this is what I would tell you. That thing, whatever it was there long before you came and started hunting those woods. Do not let these things change what you love. I know, as hard as that seems, and it's easier said than done, I absolutely understand where you're coming from. But brother, if you love hunting like it sounds like you do, you know, continue to hunt. Maybe take somebody with you or something, but you can't let these things live in your mind like that. As easy as, like I said, talk is cheap and it's easier said than done. But, you know, that thing was probably always there in the woods when you were out there. And it never harmed you. Right?
Yeah.
I hope that helped you a little bit, because I'd hate for you to quit hunting. You know, hunting is a pastime. You probably grew up doing it with your father, your grandfather, some male figure in your life that meant a lot to you.
Yeah.
You know, and they would tell you the same thing right now, because they probably knew about things and they didn't tell you about, because they wanted you to enjoy the hunt. And now that stuff has been passed on to you, and you shouldn't quit. If anything else, don't quit for them. You know what I'm saying? Don't let this damn thing run you out. I don't know if you're a religious person or not, but you know, carrying the Lord with you helps a lot when people get in these situations where they've rebuked these things in the name of Jesus, and it actually helps. That's why I also have a problem believing that these things are just primates or just something that's normal.
Yeah.
But you know, it's going to be all right. That thing didn't get you, and it's just traumatized you. I can hear it in your voice, you know. But I'm glad you called, you know, because it's hard holding these things in, brother.
I haven't told anybody about this, and I've heard on your show you talk of Bigfoot and like dog man or whatever is in them woods. But it was so intense. It was something that I don't know if I'm going to get over. I appreciate what you said, and I don't mean to take up much more of your time, but you know, anything I could do to try to, I don't want to see it again.
Was this up at your house?
Yes.
Okay, so the number one thing that you can do are motion lights. Leave that damn street light on. You said something that was very important. It doesn't sound like he stepped into the light. It sounds like he stood on the outside of it.
Yes, just on the outside. We have sheep and goats and stuff, and that's something we've been doing. And he was standing up there.
Right.
In like the section of the tent, like right at the edge of that light. And you could see, and like, you couldn't see, sorry.
What I learned at this site that I looked at for research for like 7 years is they had a motion light. And one time I was walking from the cabin to the house, and I was kind of walking through the woods. And as I got up to the hill, I noticed sticks stuck in the ground. And I thought it was odd. Took pictures of them, and I pulled them out of the ground. Well, then they returned, right? And then it dawned on me. I was like, oh, fuck. And I waited till nighttime, and I had her turn on the lights. And at the edge of the lights, these motion lights, that's where these sticks were sticking up out of the ground. They weren't everywhere, but there was a good number of them, 6 or 7, 8 of them maybe, just around the house where the lights would stick up. And it made sense. It dawned on me then. It's like they've put markers to let themselves know they can walk this far before the light turns on. And I don't know what it is about the light, but it scares them, something fierce. I know everybody's like, oh, I took my 45 with me, or this, that, and the other. Brother, my best in all of my research, the best protection from a Sasquatch is a light. They don't know what it is. They can't understand it for whatever reason, and they stay away from the shit. If you don't want these things coming around your house, put yourself up some lights, or if you have game cameras, put the game cameras up. The game cameras are like a repellent to these damn things. But the motion sensor lights, now they may stay on the outside of the light like they did before and lurk and watch from a distance. You're never going to be able to stop that. But you can live with some type of safety knowing that they won't come within that light.
Do you think they would get me if I was out there?
Brother, I don't think so. I don't think they would. I think at worst they would try to intimidate you. Right now, also, where did this happen?
Where?
Yeah, what state?
Light thing is just outside our house. It's like one of those big telephone pole things, and it comes on at night.
Yeah,
are you asking like the location?
Yeah, I'm asking.
Sorry, go ahead.
The location, like what state are you in?
I'm in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Okay, I don't know if they have a lot of dogman reports there, and the dogman reports almost to me seem like some internet legend. I haven't really found any evidence ever of a dogman. But people say those are out there.
Oh, okay.
But brother, I don't think they would get you. I really don't. Then again, I could be wrong, and I don't want to tell you that. And listen, I don't want to tell you and scare you further, but I also don't want to lie to you. Right? So do I think they will get you? No. And what do I base that on? I base that on me staying by myself in the night in the woods over 1,000 nights. Like I had, it was my job at one point. I had a research grant from Bigfoot Bounty. I just hunted Bigfoot and I stayed out there 5 nights a week, every night by myself. And they never got me. But that doesn't mean it can't happen. So always take something to protect yourself, whether it's bear mace, a pistol, something. But if you don't want them come around your house, turn on some lights. Has your house gotten slapped?
I didn't want to bring that up. It's got slapped on my bedroom, which is the opposite side of the house. Because where I seen it, I was walking up the front door. My house is on the back, or my room is on the back section of the house. And I was laying down and it was like a real quick double tap to get popped off. I don't know if that was. I didn't even put those together.
Right. Now, if it was me, brother, I would put them damn lights up as soon as I could.
Okay.
And make sure every section of your yard's covered, at least around your house. Motion lights. Have you noticed anything like left on your porch? Like left around the house? Maybe it's rocks or like feathers or anything that just seems like it was oddly placed?
No, but to be honest, I have left my house a little bit.
Right. How often do you? How long ago did this happen?
It happened about 6 months ago.
And when was the last time something did happen, like a house got slapped?
Last night.
Last night?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, brother, put some lights up. Are you interested in any type of researchers coming out to maybe get a better handle of what's going on?
Maybe, yeah, no, I don't know. You see, I'm living with my parents right now.
Right.
So I don't know how they would feel about it. My dad doesn't believe in any of this. He thinks I'm crazy. At least I think he does.
Right. Of course, you can't blame him for that now, like, because you got to figure he's never seen nothing like you have. So he has no basis for comparison. And so that's the most logical explanation for him. Like when families do that shit, they chuckle, they think you're nuts, things like that. It's just because they don't know what to, like, you have to think, if you wouldn't have seen it or if you wouldn't have experienced it and somebody came and told you that stuff,
yeah,
you know what I mean? You would be in the same boat. So don't hold no anger or ill thoughts towards them for their thoughts. So they just haven't experienced it. But if the things are coming around, it's only a matter of fucking time, and they will too.
Yeah. Well, see, I didn't believe in all this Bigfoot, whatever, for a long time, or anything being up there. And, you know, my sister, one night, she said she heard something outside, and she was trying to figure it out, and she's going through animal noises, and we pulled up a video of some noise. I can't remember which one it was, but it was supposedly Bigfoot. Her eyes went big. I've heard stories of them kidnapping people and stuff like that, and and at the time I made fun of it because I thought she just got paranoid or scared or misheard something or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, brother, listen, this is what I would, that's what the last thing I'd tell you to do. During the daytime, if you can get out on the porch, you don't have to go far. Don't go out there. Just stay right at your house. You can walk out there and you can get some time by yourself where you can clear your head. And I mean clear your head. Don't have no thoughts about the fucking football game or your job or anything on your mind. Just this. Just pray and ask for these things to leave you alone, and then say it out loud. After you're done praying, speak to them as well. Tell them you've scared me.
Mm-hmm.
Will you please stop? I don't want to be scared. And you just see, but outside of that, the best security is lights.
All right.
But brother, what's your
Thank
name?
you very
Man?
much.
What's your name, buddy?
Huh?
What's your first name?
My name's Sebastian.
Sebastian. Well, Sebastian, I'm going to pray for you, brother. And I'm going to ask everybody that's listening tonight to do the same because it's obvious that they've traumatized you. Yeah, basically, like for lack of a better word. You know, this has really been a bad moment for you. And I feel for you, brother, but it's going to be all right. I know it don't seem like it, but I'm telling you, they've been in them woods long before you moved onto that property. And they're going to be there long after you're gone. They haven't got you yet, and I don't believe they're going to. I think they're terrifying. I've seen them myself. They're fucking terrifying. There's no other, it's hard to explain to people that thought because you never get it out of your head. It doesn't matter. You'll take that shit to the grave, would you?
Every time I close my eyes, I see it.
Yep. Every time I lay down to go to sleep. Every time I lay down to sleep, I see that fucker's face looking at me. You know, but on a side note, the way I was able to get over it, you were allowed to see one of God's most rare creations. And so you can look at it from that lens. And maybe that'll help you some. Because what you've seen is something don't everybody see. I know it was terrifying. I know it was bad. But brother, you fucking hit the lotto. There's a lot of people that would like to see it. And I know it may not be what you want to hear, but I'm hoping that helps. You know, you can think about it from a different angle and just be like, you know, I fucking lucked out. I got struck by lightning tonight. You know what I mean? Like you got something that don't happen to people all the time. And as scary as it is, brother, you're stronger than that. You're stronger than to let this shit bother you like that. I understand it, but you can get through this, man. And you've got my number. We're going to pray for you here. And then if you ever need any more advice, shit keeps going on, give me a call. Please don't hesitate. You can shoot me an email. You can call this number again, and I will reach back out to you, brother.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much. And I appreciate you, brother. I really do. And hang in there, man. It's going to get better, bro. You're going to go hunting them damn woods again. Or I'm going to come to Oklahoma and drag your ass out there. So, well, buddy, you have a good night, man, and let me know. Stay in touch with me, buddy.
All right.
All right, bud.
Good night.
Bye-bye. I know we have fun here on the show and stuff like that, and we try to. But this is the other side of the coin, people. It's the other side of the coin because this shit traumatizes a lot of people. Rightfully so. All you people, I've said it before, all you people saying, oh, I'd love to see a Sasquatch. I'd love to see that. You know, fucking careful what you wish for. Because it ain't all fucking, you know, cotton candy and roses. It's terrifying a lot of times. And people react different. That shit scares the mess out of you. And I feel for my man there, Sebastian. And any of y'all that are religious, I try not to keep this show religious. I'm a Christian, though. If y'all could say a prayer for my man, Sebastian, help him get through this. As y'all could hear, it's really rough on him right now. And a lot of people go through this. People will leave their property. They'll sell the fucking house. I'll let these things win. And you can't. And I understand that we encroach on their land. But we got to fucking live too. You can live together. You can cohabitate. You know, somebody's going to live on that house. You happen to live in the woods, that's fine. You know, but at the end of the day, you don't let these fuckers stop you from what you're doing. I swear I have a little bit of disdain for these creatures at times. You know, because people will move away. They will shelter in place. They will keep things to them. These sightings traumatize people. They change people. You listen to him. This is a man that's hunted his whole life. And now he's talking about he's scared to go in the woods and never hunt again. You can't fucking do that, people. You can't. And I understand it's easy to sit here from a fucking chair in my garage and talk some bullshit about, oh, you got a bravado, go out there, be strong. Hell no, you be aware. You now know what's out there. But the thing about it is, and I hope, you know, Sebastian, I hope that you're still listening to this, buddy, but you have to, he didn't get you before. You know, just be mindful of where you're at and what you're doing. Tell people, hey, I'll be back at this time. Have you some kind of thing? Go with somebody. But they won't. You cannot. Any of y'all out there that are living a similar situation to Sebastian, can't let them win like that. You can't let them dictate how you going to live your life. You can't let no man do that. You can't let no person do that. You can't let no government do that. You damn sure can't let no Bigfoot do that. Because you only get one go around here, people. Fucking do what makes you happy. And you can take that in anything. Work at some job you hate, get the fuck out of that place. You don't know when you're going to be gone. You got to continue to do it. You can't let them win. You can't let the fear override you. Like I said, I know talk's cheap, but easier said than done. But you just can't. And I feel for you, Sebastian. Sorry you're going through that. And if any of y'all include him in your prayers tonight, power of prayer is very strong. And that was a very sobering call. I want to thank everybody that called in tonight. I want to thank everybody that watched tonight. Once again, the members only expedition, October 1st through 4th. Red River Gorge in Kentucky, $30 per person per night. It is primitive camping. There will be no power for you. But y'all, if y'all are members, Cave Dwellers, please come out. August 22nd in Chipley, Florida, Bigfoot and Brews. Come see me, Jason Monk, Papa Squatch, Dustin Tudo. We're going to be talking Bigfoot, hanging out, and having a damn dandy of a time. No better way to spend your Sunday than hanging out with my ugly ass. But anyways, people, I appreciate the love and support all y'all give me, hyping the shows, hitting that like button. You know, it's helped this grow into a community. And you know, all the prayers and the positive vibes from my little man was very touching. And I'm thank you guys so much. I really mean that. But until next time, everybody stay safe and stay squatchy. See you Friday.